Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I just want to give you a brief update on the situation in Saxony. Just a couple of days until the election on September 1st. And I'm on the road right now and I will make a more detailed video when I'm back at home. I just read in the news that apparently the current governor of Sachsen, Mr. Kretschmer, he actually made a statement in which he said that he will not agree to a coalition with the AfD or the Socialist Party Die Linke. So this is kind of the left and right extremes, if you will, who profited from the current weakness of the larger, more established parties due to the Grand Coalition, for example, on the federal level, but also for other reasons. And that, if you followed my last video, puts him into quite a pickle. Just mathematically, arithmetic tells us that if polls are correct, that of course is the basis for this statement. If the polls are correct, his chances of forming a stable coalition are rather slim, because everything that remains is the Social Democrats and the Green Party, and they don't score so high in the polls so far. So that means if we sum up the votes that are expected for the CDU, the Greens and the SPD, we just a little bit, a little bit over 50% is what that yields. And, with the fluctuation that you have and with maybe some negative press on the federal level, which, I will report on also in my video that hopefully will come out today, it could be actually less than 50%. And it all depends, of course, on whether or not the FDP makes it into parliament. I also said that they are scratching on the 5% hurdle in the polls right now. And that means the 5% hurdle, first of all, is if your party has less than 5% of the popular vote, they don't make it into parliament at all. And the FDP, of course, will be also part, potentially, of that front, this united front against the right. And that means FDP, the Liberal Party, that is, the Green Party, the SPD and the CDU, they could form a united front in order to prevent the AfD from having anything to say in Saxony and forcing them into the opposition. Of course, people also discussed a minority government. That would mean that this established party could form a minority coalition that has less than 50% of the seats in parliament. But that would have to be tolerated by the AfD. So that means whenever they want to pass a law, whenever they want to decide on anything, they have to ask for some votes at least of the AfD. And that makes them, of course, dependent on the AfD. So that means the AfD would not be in government, they wouldn't have any ministers, but they would have to play nice with the other parties. And under these circumstances that we have now, that is very improbable. And the other thing is that Kretschmer also said he also wouldn't do that. So maybe he has to take back that statement and include Die Linke, this socialist party, which would of course then be ammunition for conservative forces on the federal level, that you can say, oh look, the Merkel CDU is forming a coalition with the post-communist party Die Linke in Saxony, and that is of course something that would scare away free market-minded people and conservative people, and also people who suffered under the rule of the Soviet regime in the GDR, or DDR as we call it, the Soviet satellite state of the eastern part of Germany. So all these things could happen, or what could also happen is that there will be a coalition with the AfD in Sachsen, just without Mr. Kretschmer. He wouldn't be the first politician who excluded certain options for a coalition prior to the election in order to position himself, and then when the votes are in and counted, the party actually decides, yeah, we have to do that. And then, of course, Mr. Kretschmer is no longer the man to head the CDU, but they have to get rid of him then. That would mean that the CDU could form a coalition with the AfD without Mr. Kretschmer. And this is not the first time this happened. And if you position yourself that clearly, it is absolutely the norm then that you're out after the election then, that somebody else would take his place, and he will just be replaced as the leader, and another guy from the AfD or the CDU, depending on who gets more votes, will be the governor of Saxony then. But I don't think that will happen, but we will see. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing the results in early September. And I keep you guys posted. As I said, spread my videos, share, like, and subscribe. And stay tuned for my next upcoming video today, in which I will talk a little bit more about what's happening in the formerly conservative CDU party on the federal level. All right, take care, stay safe wherever you are. Servus, Kameraden.